interactive, and the session you have handled with quiz and brainstorming session was very interactive and useful for the participants. And I'll welcome you, ma'am, for this today's session, day 5, on the topic continuous monitoring with Nagios. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I hope my audio is audible to you.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So, good afternoon, back again to see you today after the session yesterday. All right. So, in today's session, we are going to see a continuous monitoring with Nagios. I would like once again to thank the entire management of SRM Ramapura.
Recording in progress.
The Department of Science and Humanities, especially the Department of Computer Science that's organizing, and beautiful to see you all. All right, the first question for me today is that can you post onto the chat from which city you have joined this webinar? From which city have you joined this webinar? Answers on chat. Yeah, from Bangalore, Koramankala, all right. From Trivandrum, Salem, Erode, okay. Coimbatore, Kanjipuram. Yes, we have got so many people, 147, but only Pollachi. Yes, please.
Recording in progress.
Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you allow me to unmute?
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it went out and I joined back in and
Okay.
it didn't allow me to unmute. I hope you are able to.
Yes, ma'am. We can hear your voice, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. So, yeah. Sometimes we need to expect the expected. Yeah, I got from Alapi, Chennai. Okay, Bhuvaneshwari ma'am is from Chennai. Others? All right. So from different places, we have joined together to meet onto the topic, continuous monitoring with the Nagios. What was the topic that we saw yesterday? What was our yesterday's topic? What is the topic that we're discussing yesterday? Jenkins, thank you, Jenkins. and also about Ansibles, right? And Ansible and Jenkins. So Ansible, how do you do it? So in today's session, and also in today's session, at end of the session, we are going to have um, the quiz. Let's see who will be the winner today. All right. So let's start with the session on continuous monitoring with Nagios, right? Continuous monitoring with Nagios. Excuse me, my camera is not getting switched on. I don't know why. Probably. Let's see. Right? So first we'll start with a game. Can you find the next 3 letters of the sequence? Is my screen seen? Is my screen shared with you? Answers on to the chat, yes or no? Can you see my screen? Yes. Thank you, Ashwini. What would be the next 3 letter of the sequence? Answers on chat, please. Let's be quick. Make it fast. You have got a few seconds. Let me have a timer of 15 seconds. What would be the next? Yes, well said. The right answer is said by Madhyugan, right? I don't know whether you're a staff or student. It's ONE1, TWO2, THREE3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and next is ENT, which stands for 8, 9, and 10. All right. All right. So, as we move on into the next question, like a brain test before we start because it's post-lunch session, right? 5 sisters are busy. Anne is reading, Rose is cooking, Kate is playing chess, and Mary is doing laundry. What is the 5th sister doing? Answers on chat. 30 seconds. They started. I want the answers on the chat. Well said. The right answer is given by Saranya. Big round of applause. She is playing chess. One is reading, one is cooking, Kate is playing and laundry. And that's the right answer. Well said. Thank you for your good participation. All right. So coming to the topic of continuous monitoring with Nagios, right? It is an automation. See, we are on predominantly our topic is on DevOps, right? DevOps, where we want to automate the tasks for faster delivery of product. All right. And if I could say, people wants to work with zero downtime. Okay, with zero downtime. We saw about CI/CD. What is CI/CD? Yesterday we saw about CI/CD. What is it?
I can find yesterday Bishop Rag in your Apple Music library. You can ask me to play it.
All right. What is CI/CD? Is my voice audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Answers on chat. What is CI/CD that we saw yesterday? We saw about CI/CD tools, right? Display is not visible. Display on the slide of continuous monitoring is visible or not?
Yes, ma'am. Continuous monitoring screen is visible, ma'am.
Okay. That is what I'm sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm asking a question. What is CI/CD that we saw yesterday? It is continuous integration and continuous development, right? Continuous integration and continuous development. Today, we are going to see about the component for continuous monitoring, right? For continuous monitoring. So it's an automated process that leverages the specialized software tools to empower DevOps team with their increased visibility, right? With security threats, And monitoring is more important, right? And compliance with improved risk management across your DevOps pipeline. You all work in a college, right? You work in a college, or you be as a student, right? The student joins your school, or if the student joins a college, here we say as well, right? Like if he joins a college, what are the series of, why do you keep tests? Do you have exams to your students? Why do we keep exams to our students? It is to monitor them whether this particular student will pass or will fail. If the particular student is going to fail, how could you give him extra support so that? So it's not only one test you keep in one semester, series of tests. So continuous monitoring is needed to find the development, right? Also, if you see when a child is born, a baby is born, right? You could see the mother seeing the child always, whether the baby is sleeping or the baby is awake, or there is proper growth and development of a child in adherence to their age. Yes. So always a continuous monitoring will result in good growth and development. Okay. For in software language, if you see how is your development of an application, how is the usability of the applications, right? See, we use different kinds of apps because each of them they provide the different kinds of functionalities, right? Different kinds of functionalities. See, when you come into, there are DevOps monitoring tools. There are so many DevOps monitoring tools. What they do, generally we say it as OMA, observability, monitoring and analysis, right? These are the three capabilities. Today we are going to see about Nagios, all right? And but there are so many tools like this, all right? So the first thing that we are going to see is observability, monitoring and analysis. That's very important. Observability, monitoring and analysis, right? So when you see to it, observability is making the data within an application access for monitoring and analysis, right? And for monitoring, you collect, aggregate, and display the data. And analysis, manually or automatically investigating the data and also providing insights. How many of you have traveled in Uber or Ola or any kind of, or have you used Swiggy or what do I say, or Zomato? After you order something, right, whether you order for a ride or you order for a food, what do? What do you do? I hope you're all joined the session, right? Yesterday we had 197 people, but only one or two are responding. Then I need to believe that people have joined, just switched on the system and left. All right. So tracking, you continuously monitoring it until you get the product home. Say for example, in Swiggy, if you're going to book a food, a breakfast or lunch or dinner, until you receive the product, you observe it, you monitor it, you analyze it, right? You observe whether the particular restaurant has taken up your order. Then you keep monitoring whether they have assigned somebody to collect, and you analyze it, what time they are going to receive it. Have you experienced observability, monitoring and analysis in applications like this? Yes or no? Can you give me some real-time example where, as a person of you compute the task of observing, you compute the task of monitoring, and you compute the task of analyzing? Can you give me some real-time examples on the chat, please? Quick. Waiting for your answers. Google Map, Flipkart delivery. Well said, Lakshmi ma'am. Others? While listening to the class. All right. Even listening to the session. Right? You observe it, you monitor and analyze whether this facilitator or is it doing a good job, or they are making sense of what is the topic given, or you observe them, then you monitor the particular faculty throughout the sessions, and then you say analyze it, good, bad or worst, right? Good, bad or worst. All right, then All right. OLX GPS when location is on. Well said. Okay. Now coming into the best DevOps of monitoring, we are not seeing about the integration or the development tools in DevOps. Today's session we are going to see about the different monitoring tools. Can you see here? You can see here Sensu. Okay, it's a monitoring tool in DevOps. Is Spelunk, then SolarWinds, Nagios, Dynatrace, App Dynamics, New Relic, PagerDuty. And today's session, what are we going to see? Can I have the answers on the chat? What out of these tools, which tool are we going to see today? Just give the first. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Doreen. I don't know whether you're a student or staff. All right, only two have responded. What about others? You have two, not two. Two, not two participants. All right. Okay. Okay, today we're going to see about Nagios. Before going into that, this is DevOps, right? Yesterday it's a saw sleeping 8, I said. I don't know whether you remember. First you plan, right? Planning of for what problem you're going to find solution to it. All right, and then for coding, you use Subversion or GitHub or Jira or Eclipse. Once you code it and you start building your application using Apache Ant or Maven or Gradle, then you need to test using Selenium or JUnit. All right, you test it and then it goes for the release. In the release, you see a lot of plugins using Jenkins or Bamboo. You remember we saw about Jenkins yesterday? All right, and then you go on for deploy. How do you deploy this application? You remember Ensemble we saw yesterday? Yes, we saw about Ensemble yesterday, the Chef and Papados, different varieties of tools and Saltop. Then you operate on it, all right, and then you go for the monitoring. The monitoring you see Nagios, Spelunk, Sensu, New Relic. Here you see, this is what I showed you, different monitoring tools. And in today's class session, we are going to see about Nagios, right? We see about Nagios. All right. Able to understand this pattern of DevOps, right? Planning, coding, build, test, release, deploy, operate, and what are the associated tools? We're able to follow till now. Yesterday we saw about Ensemble, for release we saw about Jenkins, and today we are coming into the monitoring is Nagios. We're able to follow till now. Type F on the chat. Okay, you are able to follow? Thank you. Operate, you also use Jira. Jira also we use on Operate. Now today we are going to see about Operate Jira. As we have done the coding, right? You can also operate using Jira, ma'am. Lakshmi, ma'am. All right. So coming on to the main topic of what is Nagios, right? Nagios, if you see, it's an open source software for continuous monitoring of systems, networks, and infrastructure. See, if you're going to see Amazon, what is the functionality of Amazon? We use Amazon to buy a product. It goes to the inventory, finds the product is available, takes up a request, processes it, manipulates it, processes it, and finds and sends the way back to your address that you're giving it. So there were so many servers, right? There's so many network at Amazons. How they are monitoring with zero downtime, right? You have to see how they are using Nagios. And also for the infrastructure, it runs plugins stored on a server. We'll see the architecture of Nagios as we go through, which is connected with the host or another server on your network, right? It could be on your own server or to another server. In case of any failure on your network, right? Any failure on your network, Nagios alerts about the issue so the technical team can recover it very immediately. That is what the name itself, it is a continuous monitoring tool for applications, for services and business process generally in DevOps culture. So able to understand it is to either to monitor your systems or to monitor your network or, and also to monitor your infrastructure. Initially, it was named as NetSaint, right? Initially, it was named as NetSaint, right? Can you see here? It was named as NetSaint, and it is developed by Ethan Galstad in the year 1999, right? It was developed by Ethan Galstad in the year 1999. So here, then what happened? They renamed to the Nagios because there was some other product of the same name. They had some kind of trademark issues or something like that, and because of which they are taken it up, right? Change the name as Nagios, right? The software provides services of monitoring and alerting of switches. If your network switch is not working, then it alerts the switch and servers inside your DevOps culture. It's also used to notify the users when things they go bad and when things they become better. So you have a monitoring tools to check whether this network is performing or it is overloaded. If it is overloaded, then it goes to the scheduler to remove your task from overloading to lightly loaded task. All right. This logo of Nagios, you can see to it, right? So this is the logo of Nagios, and I told it's you can see this is my screen scene. Can you see Nagios website? Okay. So this is your Nagios website, right? So when you see it here, it is used for Windows monitoring, Linux monitoring, server monitoring, and also applications to be monitored. Imagine how Ola, Uber, Swiggy, and all will have a bigger monitoring tool to check whether the product is on the higher floor or low, whether the sale is of a profit or a loss, how usability. Imagine Google Map. How many of them are using Google Map at the same time, right? So if you could see usage of, if I'm going to check usage of Google Map in June 2023. All right. So you can see the statistics. 13th June they have given. I don't know. That has been blocked. All right. Okay. Generally they are getting it at 2023. Can you see here? 15.4 billion monthly users. How many users? 15.4 billion monthly users. You could see it here. Can you see? 15.4 billion monthly users. 5 million live websites use 5 million live website also uses Google Maps. So whether Google Maps need to have a continuous monitoring system? Definitely the answer is yes. And Google Maps uses 5 MB of data per hour. And they contribute so many things about how many it has subclasses, so many downloads too. So kinds of tools where they keep progressing, you definitely need a monitoring tool. So when you come into the history of Nagios, right? So we started in the year 1996, right? For but the plugins are made, right? And it was made in the year 1999. and it was part of NetSaint distribution. We said, right, it's named to be Nagios plugin in the year 1999. So properly Nagios came into existence in 1999 by Ethan Karlstad. But Ethan then renamed the project to Nagios because of the trademark issues had in the year 2002. From the name NetSaint, then they became SourceForge.net project in the month of June, right? As we are in June 2023, this happened in 2005, all right? And Nagios Enterprise releases its first commercial version, Nagios X11, and then 2012 it is again named as Nagios Core, and it has surpasses how many? 7500 downloads from directly from SourceForge website. All right. So if you could see here, so they use Nagios 11, right, provides monitoring of all mission critical infrastructure. For infrastructure that includes application services and monitoring, right? We have hundreds of third-party add-ons for monitoring virtually all applications. For log server, to find different logs, who are logged in, then they go for Nagios log server. Nagios Fusion is used for a network of high-degree visibility to solve problems with multiple networks and geographical separations. How the particular application is spread out through geospatial data. Then we go for Nagios Fusion. And also it is used for network monitoring tool, traffic tools, and analyzer tool. For server monitoring, Linux, Windows, and other server monitoring. For applications, it's a web application, how far our website is reachable, not reachable, how whether there's any flaw. These will be coming into the case studies, right? So you can see a Nagios core, the core monitoring with the, these are Nagios open source. Can you see here? Nagios plugin, you have 50 plugins, Nagios front end, the core add-ons, and migrated. So if I'm going to click on the plugins, you will find what are the different plugins. See, when was it released? 14th April 2023. Alright, so the new version is 2.4.4. Allows you to monitor devices, hosts, protocols, and applications with Nagios. All right, I hope my Nagios website that you are able to see it now. Yes. Answers on the chat if you're able to see Nagios plugins website. Yeah, thank you. Only one or two are answering. What are others doing? Okay, thank you. 3, 4. Good answers, right? Now coming, why Nagios? Now coming to the question of why Nagios. So it can, what it can do, I told you, right, it is a continuous monitoring tool. It can monitor database servers such as SQL servers, Oracle, MySQL, Postgres, whatever is your database servers, right? And also it gives application level information for Apache Tomcat or Postfix or LDAP or Citrix. It also provides active development. As and when you develop, you can launch the product into the cyberspace and it will be monitored. Has excellent, able to hear, right? Able to hear? The network looks fluctuating. You're able to hear? Okay, yeah, thank you. And also it has excellent support from the activity community, right? And Nagios can run in any kind of operating system. If you pin, it can ping to see if host is reachable or not, right? Whether the host is reachable or so this is the architecture of Nagios. So I told you, right, it is monitoring. So monitoring always will have a scheduler. Even in college, if some teachers or faculties are overloaded, then we do one paper and give it to a faculty who is underloaded, right? So that the progress will be smoother. So the scheduler executes a plugin. So when you see the center box, which is in green color, all right, that's a process scheduler that we also call as a Nagios server. So the Nagios server has got plugins. I now showed you the website where Nagios plugins or been residing, right? So from the different plugins, your project process scheduler, right? So what generally happens first, the scheduler executes your plugins, then it goes to step 2. The plugin gets status from the remote host, with probably finding whether the web application is on or off or whatever it is, right? And then it is giving its response back to the Nagios server, right? Giving it back to the Nagios server, and where they'll be able to find it out, right? So here, what is the state of the particular device? What is the state of that particular device? And then what do? You have a web interface. So the output of the Nagios server plugins, right? And it will be sending back to its Nagios website. So Nagios updates the graphical user interface. I will show you how the GUI works also. And then it notifies the other. All right, able to get it now. So plugins and data to Nagios to the process. Step 3. So sends the data to Nagios to the particular process. So step 1, from here, you execute one of the plugin, then it goes to the remote host, gets the state, and it comes back, and then sends data to Nagios to process it, and then what is the output? It is pushed back to your Nagios web interface. All right, this is the simple architecture of Nagios. All right, okay, moving on to it. So when you take Nagios, you see from the scheduler, it goes to the remote, from the remote gets and process and then sends to your GI. So the entire Nagios is a client-server architecture. It works on client-server architecture. Usually it works on a host, right, where you have an Nagios server. So Nagios server will have different plugins, right? Will have plugins, and plugins are running on all remote hosts also. It should be monitored. So when the scheduler, when you take it as a component of the server part, right, the scheduler, it sends signals to all its plugins on the remote host. Then the plugin gets the status of the remote host, sends the data back to the process scheduler, and the process scheduler updates the GUI, and the notification are sent to admins. So just look onto the screen. Can you be able to figure out the flow of Nagios, how it has been scheduled? Able to follow these steps? Because you have to understand it is continuous monitoring system. If you are able to follow this step, type S on the chat. Okay. So first you should understand the flow, that's all. This I told you. And now coming to the scheduler. Scheduler is the server part, I told you, right? Nagios works in client server part, and this is server part of Nagios. It checks what are the plugins if you want a needed plugin. I showed you the website where you can get the plugin. The recent plugin came on 14th April, right? When you take, it's a user interface. So what the websites are being generated, right? Its GUI can be a button. It could be red, green, or accordingly, right? It becomes red where it gives an error or warning. And plugins also as a component according to what you want to what is that you want to work on with, right? So what are the plugins you need, it will be given, right? And also, how many of you see page rank algorithms? Page rank algorithms. Do you know what is page rank? Yes or no? No. Okay. Okay. Page rank is how do you rank the page of an algorithm. There also you can write programs, right? Say for example, can one of you put on your website onto the chat? One of your college website or something. one of your college websites. Okay, to check the rank of your Savida Engineering College, give the ID, the website. Okay, see, you need not enter the domain here. See, can you enter https www dot. I'm going to check for my company's website, which is cirf.co.in. If you could give your college web ID on the chat, I'll test for your college also. See how here we monitor it, right? Can you see the domain analysis on June 23? I have ranked initially when I started developing the this website. It was not on rank 1. We made the sending because we have courses on digital marketing. Now I think 2 to 3 batches of data science courses are being going for as internships for the UG and the PG students, right? And so here we had during the time when you were working on SEO tools and digital marketing tools, we teach it. So Google page rank, it ranks the CPR score. Can you see the different colors? Right? Can you see the different colors? It says, so what is my URI? What is that in indexed URL? See, the PR quality is very weak, or what is the responses? Now let's try for savida.ac.in. Let's see what is the rank they have. The color code defined there, so there's a continuous monitoring that happens. As and when you get onto it, I've submitted. What happened? Yeah, can you see the page rank is 4 out of 10 and the CPR is 3.8 out of 10. And here the PR quality is very strong. External backlinks, right? What is the domain authority, who's the page, and the root IP and different index URL. Alright, can you see it here? And each of the color code here denotes a different kind of metrics. So whenever you come into the continuous monitoring tools, you always have this, right? That's what in GUI you have different colors on green and when it gives an error. So what is plugin? They are configurable by the users. I showed you, right? Nagios plugin. Can you see here? This is, and also you can click on here for find more plugin. Okay, what are the different plugins available and using Nagios, right? Using Nagios. So it's a place where you can find Nagios plugins. All right, Nagios QL, what is Raspberry Pi temperature monitor, so much and so more. Thank you. So when you come into this, here also it is like a monitoring tool which is configured by the users. They detect the services and return it back to the server, right? They return it back to the server. So thank you. I hope you followed page rank. Yeah. Thank you, Ashwini. Thank you, Virai. I don't know whether you're a staff or a student. All right. And then moving on to the next part is how will the Nagios plugin look like? You have a monitoring server where your Nagios. So when I keep Nagios, you have your Nagios UI, you have the Nagios server, and also you have the remote machines. So if I'm going to put a plugin called check NT to monitor whether Windows machine is available to the monitoring server. So check NT is my plugin that is inside my Nagios. You know, the server will have my Nagios plugins, right? So NS Client Plus should be installed on every system. So this is a client. This is my plugin, and the client should have in NS Client. It is client, there's a spelling mistake here. It's client plus should be installed on all the systems that you want to monitor. Then you have an SSL. So yesterday also I told you about SSL, right? The second connection between check NT and NS plus, and then which continuously exchange information about the CPU, the memory, the displays, the process, the certificate services that they do, and it is monitored by an GUI on Nagios. All right. This particular, say for example, in my window machine, I'm going to have 10 or 15 users, right? On some machines, I'm not going to have more users. Then I can remove some of the jobs assigned to one, and it can be moved on to the other. All right. Able to understand how Nagios plugin works? What is the plugin here? What is the plugin here? Tell me what is the plugin here? Check NT is your plugin. This is how the GUI looks like, right? Can you see? Nagios GUI, last update, updated every second. And what is the state? What is the state of all servers, HTTP servers, SSL, Ubuntu servers? Is it okay or not? I told you, right? You have like green color for if things are okay and red color if things are not okay. So GUI looks like a web page, right? That is generated by CGI, and that can be buttons like red or green or sound or graph or whatever it is. When the alert is soft, a hard alert is staged, but when it is, then it is sent from the notification to the server. This is how your Nagios GUI looks like. I told you about plugins, how it works. Yes, we worked with plugins. Right? The plugins, the architecture is very simple. The web interface, the remote machine, and your scheduler. All right. Okay, thank you. So many people have given. You like the page rank demo, Durai, Ashwini, and Aarti. All right. So how will you install Nagios, right? Let's move on to how will you install. You will not be able to do it now, but I can quickly show on the steps. So how we are going to do with Apache and PHP required on your Ubuntu server, right? Required on your Ubuntu server. So generally we give sudo apt-get update off, and then you wget it. What are the essentials to unzip, and then these are commands to be run, and the major command comes here. So we have to create a new user or group for Nagios. So first I'm going to create a new user, sudo add user Nagios. Then I'm going to add a new group and add Nagios to that group. So the group name is nagcmd, nag command or something. And then I'm going to add this user that I created right now, Nagios, that I'm going to add to that group. Okay, that I'm going to add to the group. And step 3, we have to download the latest package from Nagios. I will show you a video how are we going to work on with that. And then you will be downloading the latest packages. All right. And then we go on for untarring it, which is unzipping it, and then extracting it, putting onto a path. Then putting onto one path called cd Nagios or something, right? Then once I put onto the path, then I configure it, right? Once I configure it, then I make, so this is the required step: sudo make all, sudo make install, the daemons, and so many things, and we require the copy of the scripts that we need to handle it using library executive function. So I use these, I give chown, right? I give chown to give the CA change mode, right? Read, write, and execute. I hope you should have all learned somewhere in architecture or something, right? Okay, they will give you the feedback thing, they will give you attendance, but kindly wait, listen to the session, right? So now we have to set up an authentic gateway to, right? It works with SSH. So first I'm going to create a configuration file. So when the file is open, then I have to paste the code and then I have to save it. So this is my configuration file from where I'm going to get user broken Nagios SBIN. Then what it does allows a DNA or restricted area, or I'm going to share it and so much and so on. Now using HT password, right? I'm going to set up an authentication gateway, right? For this user called as Nagios admin. So then I compute these following comments, and then I get my Nagios plugin. First I downloaded my Nagios. Now the next step I'm going to download my Nagios plugin. So once I've done, I verify it and update it on my configuration. So once it is done, once Nagios is downloaded, once the Nagios plugin has been downloaded, then I go on for the services. To start, we have worked with Hadoop distributed file system, how to use HDFS or installation of Hadoop, then you will be able to work, able to flow through these, right? Then system calls, enabling it. So in IF config, if you will know the IP address, by checking the running commands in which IP, the web interface you can able to find it. So this is how you give Docker, what is the plan, the MPUI, net mask. So every details you get from which Docker it is done, right, and how it is working. Then if you type that IP address that you get it right, once I install it right in IF config, you will be getting your IP address. So in that you'll be able to find it out. IP address / Nagios, you'll be able to get like this. Can you see? So the IP address here is 172.17.0.1 Nagios admin. So I get like this, and this is my GUI. This is the home page of my GUI. Right? So once this is done, which means you have installed an Nagios core. Okay. Once this is done, so you can start monitoring your infrastructure, whatever it is. So do you want to see how it has been done? So I can show you. See, this is a sudo apt update. So after you download, you unzip it. Then you configure the sites. Once you configure it, you give make call. You remember I gave you the command make call. So once you give make call, you get this kind of responses after downloading. So it says make call, make install user group. Already I have a group Nagios. I'm adding the user to the group, right? Okay, after you get your CGI and other things, and once it is installed, here I'm using Nagios bin for the configuration files. Whatever steps I've given there only is the same step. So once everything is done, you get this. So that IP address and Nagios, if I give, you give the username and the password what we have given. Then you get the Nagios code. Able to get it with the steps? Yes, no? All right. Able to follow? Okay, so these are the several steps that I have given, right? So you'll be getting your Nagios UI. Coming to the case studies. Step 2 again. I think let me share you the recording. So very less time. This is step 2. Creating Nagios and adding them to Nagios group. Alright. Okay. So this company called as Bitnetics, right? Bitnetics. They work with Nagios. They are an IT consultation company. They are an IT consultation company. All right, and they work on voice over IP on networking and data centers monitoring. So they're offering small business looks big. So they want to have a very good customer relationship. Because it's a networking company, right? So the communication should be right. And what they did, they work with the customer who are into email marketing. They're one of your customer. Then they use AWS server, right, which dynamically allocates and responds to deliver thousands of emails to customers, right? And they're using Nagios code. You can see here. They were using Nagios 4, now they are moved into Nagios XI and they integrated with Chef, and so they work with zero downtime. So the very challenges when they moved from live to this, and they were able to set it up, and the customers were able to move all the customers from Nagios 4 with Nagios 11 with zero downtime. Zero downtime. All right. So as we don't have much time, and these are different case studies that you can find, like Watch Communication, Burlington Coat Factory, how they worked on with. All right. MCS, I told you about Bitnex. And this is also a top Malaysian bank. They saved valuable time of their IT with Nagios 11. This is like Amazon, right? They are real retail giants, e-com retail giants. Say they've got, I don't know, 125 000 and additional sales after they went into Nagios, right? I hope this session would have been useful to you. And we'll just play the one game before we. I hope you should have learned something about Nagios. All right. The Menti code is open up menti.com 51049233. Are you joining? Yeah, one player has joined. Only 2 have joined. What about others? You want to have the game or you don't want? How to join? Type menti.com and also I'll give you the link. You can just click the link and join. but I give it out to the chat, right? You can just click the link and join. Yeah, now, oh, the link is easier, so many people are joining. I don't know, something happened. Yeah, you will be getting the feedback link. Do not worry. I think 39 players have joined out of 239, which means only 39 are listening. What about the other 300, 200? Don't know. Let's start with the first question. What is the original name of Nagios? Nagios, what's the original name? How many of you have responded? 11. NetSuite, SAP, or NetSaint? Click on the link and join, Kevin. Everyone has voted. And the right answer is NetSaint. You remember, because of trademarks, they changed. Let's see who's the winner on the first round. Ajit and Hepsi and Shanbagavalli. Thank you. Let's move on to the second question. We have approximately 50 players out of 241. In which year was Nagios developed and by whom? Which year and by whom Nagios was developed? 1997 or 1998 or 1999? 37 has responded, 40 responded, 42 responded. All right, and the right answer is 1999 by Ethan Gardstad. Right, Ethan Gardstad. Let's see who's the winner. First place, FC. Second place, Shanbai Wali ma'am. And third place is V-Room. I don't know who's V-Room. Let's move on to the third question for the day. Let's see. In 2012, the recent year, Nagios was renamed as Nagios Core or Nagios 11 or Nagios Suite. I told you in the talk during the history, I suppose. Nagios Core. Nagios Core. Okay, let's see who's the winner. Yeah, in 2012, it is Nagios Core. Ajit is the fastest, second is FC, ma'am, and third is Shanbagavalli. Let's move on to the fourth question. The server part, I told, right, it's client and server architecture. What is the server part? Is it GUI or scheduler or plugins? We saw GUI, scheduler, plugins in the architecture along with the remote machine. Which is the server part? 4950 have answered. The right answer is scheduler. The server part is the schedule. You see the process scheduler on the architecture, right? On the scheduler part. Let's see who's the winner in this round. First place seems to be Ajit. Second place, Shanbagavalli. And third is what? Goat. I don't know who's. And Bill is the fastest. All right, the final question for the day. Which is an automated process that leverages specialized software tools to empower DevOps groups. To empower your DevOps groups to make it more powerful with zero time, whether it is continuous monitoring or continuous analysis or continuous observability. Which is an automator. What is the topic that we saw today? Well answered by many of you. It is continuous monitoring. An example of continuous monitoring is Nagios. Let's see who's the winner today. Today's winner is Ajit. Congratulations, Ajit. Second place, Shanbagavali ma'am, and third place is Ward Goat. I don't know whether Ajit is a student or staff. I'm sorry. So I hope this session would have been useful to you. You'd have learned something new with Nagios. All right, let's learn even more. It was good to be connected with you for 2 days, yesterday and today, to speak about DevOps tools and ensemble, Jenkins, and today we saw about Nagios. So you find it was good, it was useful session. Need more class like that, probably in the future with lively sessions. Thank you so much for your good responses. 2 days straight. What's your feedback, Ajit? You can put it onto the chat. The winner of the day. Or you can say you're the hero of the session, interactive session. Thank you so much, Sangeeta Priya. Brainstorming, easy to understand, you're satisfied. All right, so nice to see you, and probably the world is very small, and we'll get chance to meet you all back again. You can make a note of my contact details. And at CIRF, we provide internships for students, right? I've given the website, and we provide both faculty for internship and students internship. We predominantly work on research and development, all right, and where we develop tools, and and this is a website. You can figure it out. You can see what are the recent events that has been taken place. Right, it's a Section 8 company. We have registered under Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. Like what are the courses that we have taken, what are the sessions, yeah, even these things, right? Today and yesterday's session, you can see how many events we have conducted. I think this is my 130th session of this year, 130 session of this year. So many sessions. I think it's 130th session of this year, and thank you all for this opportunity. This internship we are providing now between 10 to 11:30. Now and 7 to 8:30 online. The second is offline. 15 days and 30 days. Any of your students are interested to take it up, they could join. If they come as a group, right? If they come as a group, they'll be able to find like 30 days. One student is 3,500. Group of 5 is 3,000 per head, and 10 2,500. If it is 15 days, 2,000 per head. Per head, 1,750 for 5 team, and 1,500 for 10. So you can find what are the things that we do, and what is the goal, and what is the mission, and what we do by and large. Okay, thank you all for joining. God bless. Thank you for your excellent feedback. Over to the organizers.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Today's session about continuous monitoring with Nagios was highly interactive. Participants were active till the end. The Department of Computer Science and Applications, BSc and MCA, are very pleased to have you as the resource person in this afternoon. Our heartfelt thanks for being with us and sharing your views about Nagios in spite of your busy schedule. Hope participants are able to understand the entire process of continuous monitoring using Nagios with real-time applications, architecture of Nagios, plugins, Bitnetics with Nagios, installation of Nagios with the case studies. The working of Nagios server. Thank you, ma'am. We look forward in upcoming sessions too. As usual, the brainstorming quiz session always attracted the audience. Really, thank you, ma'am.
Welcome so much, Belina ma'am, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, ma'am. The delivery of content was really adorable, ma'am.
Welcome so much. Grace of God.
Thank you, ma'am. Dear participants, the feedback link has been shared.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, ma'am. This is Kavita from Velu Institute of Technology.
Tell me, ma'am.
Can you give any talk regarding any recent topics in machine learning or in cyber security related topics to our students, ma'am?
Yes, can give, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Is there any availability dates on July 1st week, ma'am?
What timing you need? Because
I mean, it's only an online session, ma'am.
okay,
From 6 to 8, 2 hours start.
2 hours talk. What time you need?
6 to 8, ma'am.
Morning.
No, in the evening.
Evening, 6 to 8, 2 hours talk.
2 hours
You are
start.
from VIT Chennai or VIT?
Yes, in VIT Chennai in the Computer Science and Engineering Department.
What's your name? You said I forgot.
Kavita.
Kavita. Okay, ma'am. I can check with my calendar and give you a date on to that.
Okay. July first week of July.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. 2
Yes,
hours.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
On machine learning.
Friends.
On
Yes, ma'am.
machine learning.
Machine learning or AI,
Okay.
any recent trends.
Okay. AI is umbrella word which covers everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll check it out and give you a date. Message me on WhatsApp or send a mail so that I keep it in my blog.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. I will to WhatsApp.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Sugita. Sugita.